Okay, then Helldivers, we are back. We've got loads to go over today as the CEO, Shams Georgiani, has been responding to players over in the Discord with regards to the latest patch update and what it could essentially mean and what it is that they're working on next. We all knew that this wouldn't fix the game completely, but it definitely seems to be a step in the right direction, and hopefully we can be done with this all very soon. We've also got to take a look into some of the conversations going on with GameGuard, which they have recently addressed, and it seems that the CEO is still our primary source of information. A little bit wild to me, but we're going to address everything you guys need to know in today's video. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you check out our incredible sponsor, GamerSupps, the company that offer esports athletes and gamers alike with the most effective and healthy energy drink option. And we've now got loads of stuff dropping on a day-to-day basis, so make sure that you check them out. There may be something in there for you. Use code CloudPlays at checkout for a cheeky discount. And if you want to get involved with our giveaway for super credits, we're announcing it in just a few days, so head down into the comment section and put a flame emoji, as it seems that this game may well be getting the fire that it needs. It's interesting to see, and we'll go over everything. So with that being said, let's dive into Helldivers and see what's happening right now. So starting off, we're going to give you guys a quick Galactic War update to let you guys know that Hellmire is currently under attack. That's right, our beloved placement for the Outpost Alpha is now under attack, meaning that Osheune is actually on the ropes. We've got 1 day and 3 hours remaining on the major order, and with around 21 hours left on the clock for this defense, it seems like quite an important attack that we need to go into. So whatever it is you're doing, let's make sure that we secure the Outpost Alpha so we can progress this Gloom storyline just a little bit further. Now moving into the back end of what it is that's been happening with Helldivers right now, Shams Georgiani took to Discord to actually put out a message to the community at the point of the patch dropping. He says right here, "Hello folks, hope you enjoy the patch. As always, we hope that this is a step in the right direction. Let us know what works and doesn't, and we've got another patch lined up in the future. Besides this patch, we've made a bunch of changes behind the scenes in our development routines to be talked about more in a future blog post." Now that is, for me personally at least, very, very intriguing. I'd love to know what it is that they've changed behind the scenes in terms of their development routines, because I think that actually that's quite important. The fact that there is a routine is definitely intriguing for us, because it could mean that there should be a change in how it is that things are done, or at least a noticeable one to players alike. Unfortunately, though, this patch brought in a lot of good, but did not quite bring in exactly what it was that we were hoping. And a piece of information that I feel like should have been announced at the point of the patch dropping was this right here. Somebody stated that people are still getting hard locks, and Shams said, yeah, that's a deeper issue, still being worked on. I do feel like that should be something that was actually announced at the point of the patch dropping. Some people were that excited with this ginormous patch update, which looked to be a massive patch update, but actually 90% of it was just the balance and the way that the game actually worked in terms of weaponry and enemies. A lot more balance changes than actual fixes by the looks of things, kind of masked up exactly what it was that was done. So the hard locks can still be a bit of a problem, and some creators are still experiencing that, although others are now actually back in the game. We all know who Phase Shifter is, and he's an incredible creator that's been locked out of the game now for quite some time, but just after this patch update was actually able to get in again. So it's definitely given some good news for the game itself, and based on the performance that we're experiencing on the inside, a lot of PC players are now experiencing better frames per second, especially during those more in-depth moments in the game where there is a lot of chaos and carnage going on. It seems to be holding on for dear life, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, with the crashes seeming to be a lot more minimal. So if you are experiencing hard locks, it's something that they are working on, but at this point in time isn't something they've actually eradicated. Now, this isn't the end of the patches though, and it seems that there may be some more coming quite soon, or at least the way that it's worded is Shams Georgiani states, before we return to what we hope is a new normal, we have more patches coming. Now again, I'm looking forward to that blog post coming out, because I want to know what a new normal actually looks like, and it's also quite nice to know that they're already working on new patches and potentially even have some new stuff ready for us. So I'm intrigued, and I'm open to see everything that it is that they're doing. Now, this could take quite some time though, as Shams has actually stated that performance will take many more months of work to get to even more meaningful improvement, which, as much as it is a positive that they're acknowledging they need to do it, is definitely a bit of a negative that we're going to probably have to wait for such a long amount of time to essentially have the base game. What does concern me the most is they've put content on hold, at least for now, to see exactly what it is that they can do with fixing the game. And with statements like months to come, it does intrigue me as to how far back they've actually pushed the new content coming to the game overall. It's all well and good being able to push those back, but after a little amount of time, the game will naturally become stale. As of right now, we're okay, but it doesn't definitely creep in, and anyone who says it doesn't is definitely a liar. But they are looking into other things. One of the biggest ones that people have been speaking about right now is Game Guard, the kernel-level client that has been causing issues left, right, and center, or at least players claim that they have, and the studio claim that it doesn't. But for some reason, even though they claim that it doesn't, they are looking into Game Guard, and it's so much so that it's actually on their priority list, as Shams has stated just here, which is a interesting take for sure. And the biggest thing for me is this next message, because realistically at this point in time, they've obviously got a new routine of how things are working, but Shams Jorjani seems to be our biggest port of contact, which doesn't really strike too well for me. We've definitely got community managers that are there to be able to do that job and be able to push across the information that we do need. Now, obviously, as long as we're getting it, we shouldn't care. But the Baskinator has stated right here, when somebody asked, do you sometimes go through the artwork that people post within the Reddit, within the Discord, and go through all like the fan art? And Baskinator says that they do it every week. So yeah, that's essentially what it is that we've got, and they put them into their weekly reports that they go into their meetings with to show how the community are doing, although don't actually bloody speak to us. So that's my 2 cents on that one. A little bit of a salty move, I'm sure, but for me, community managers should definitely be boots on the ground and should be working with us in terms of what it is that we're speaking about, although right now seem to be pretty damn quiet, to say the least. Long live the pant-charting CEO. Thank you, Shams, for providing us with something. Good lord. But the patch update did bring some really cool changes into the mix. Now, a lot of these buffs were kind of an interesting factor, as some of the nerfs inside of this game were dressed up as buffs, like the changes to fire. Yeah, the fire damage has obviously been nerfed, which in turn will affect the Coyote, so they may not have actually addressed it on its own, but the Coyote has definitely took a bit of a hit based on the burn damage and how it actually operates. And after a little bit of testing just yesterday, just seeing exactly how it is that the SMGs have been affected with their fall off is a little bit crazy to me. Not too sure why they've done that, but nonetheless, a lot of things in terms of nerfs were dressed up as buffs. Bit of a shame, but the game is still in a good stead and hopefully in the right direction. One of the more favorite things though that you guys have had from this patch is this right here, as the Leviathan new cannons are really impacting people massively. Now, these things are a lot easier to dodge, but don't get me twisted, a lot like the Harvester, once they touch you, you have been evaporated. I've been playing inside of the Illuminate to try and test some of these Leviathans out and see how the new cannons actually work, and as you've seen in the gameplay in the background, my lord, they are an absolute challenge. But I had a load of fun with them, and actually I think it's a really, really welcome change, and apparently thousands of you guys do agree as well. Let me know in the comment section though what the biggest change is in a positive light for you, and what it is you most enjoyed from this patch update overall. I've seen a lot of "it's so over, we're so back" messages, and for me personally, I don't think we're quite at a position where we're so back, but the game is definitely in a good enough stead now where we can say that it's a bit more positive, that's for sure, and we're leading into the right direction. Nonetheless though, we've got to take a look at the previous video's comments, and I just at this point want to make a big addressment to all of you and just say a massive thank you for yesterday's video, as you guys absolutely leathered it, and my lord, it just did incredible. So a massive shout out to all of you guys who did watch the video and made your inputs in the comment section. If we could do the same this time, then I'd be so damn grateful. But this first comment states right here, "It's so over, we're so back, the cycle repeats." Now, unfortunately, at this point in time, I don't believe that we are so back, but we are on our way back. That's for damn sure. So it's an interesting venture, and I'm glad that the game is taking a 180 turn and going in the right direction finally, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what it is that future patch updates do to the game before we can get overly excited. This next comment right here states, "Finally, the elevated overseers isn't a flying tank." Now, this was probably one of the biggest changes for me. I've been having a massive amount of time with the Plasma Punisher, and I can tell you guys that those are bloody elevated overseers, 2 shots with the PP, and we're absolutely good. Yes, I said 2 shots with a PP, but nonetheless, it's absolutely incredible, and I'm so glad that they made those changes to the elevated overseers, because they're a nightmare, especially when they're like hordes of them and they're flying so high up. But now they are not too much of a problem, but enough of a challenge that you need to be able to make sure you're paying attention. And this final one right here states, "You missed the fact that the Dynamite has 40 demo value now. It can close Titan bug holes now." Then there was an edit and it states that I was listening to the video and didn't see the footage of you closing a Titan hole with one, my bad. Now, obviously, that is something that we tried to make sure we addressed, but that video was like over 20 minutes long based on patch notes. If we could minimize it a little bit, we did try to, so I used some game footage rather than speaking it, but that's probably my bad. But yes, the dynamite now is becoming one of the more loved grenade throwables inside of the game with the amount of demo force that it now actually has. A lot of you guys have been adoring it over the last 24 hours, and we're going to be jumping on stream today and testing out everything from it, so I'll be enjoying it myself, and hopefully it's as good as you are all telling me. Nonetheless, that's all we got time for today. If you want to feature in the next video for top comments, make sure you get into the comment section, put something relevant, and the top voted will count in. That's all we got time for. Thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.